Hey guys, welcome to everybody. You are with the Wicked Lady Hippy at the bar live. Now that may not mean a damn thing. Doesn't to most of us. A lot of us say at the beginning, you know, do the thing. So do the thing. Apparently, they're really happier at YouTube when we do the thing. I think it's like social Woodstock up here. Background, real quick. Let's see. Yeah, and I wear all the hats. I don't make any money doing this. I would probably ever never make any money doing this. But I think it's a great medium. And I call it Social Woodstock Live without the mud. Without the mud. That may have been fun for everybody else. I don't think I'd like that much. In any event, let's see. Army veteran, uh, published author, mother of one, grandmother of two. My grandson is already an Army veteran like me, so kind of gives the show away. But thanks for not asking about that uh, age thing. That is a state secret, as it turns out. I can't really help you out with that. So I used to try to say, look, I've got live chat up. You can throw it in the comments, or you can just listen and turn the channel, or what have you. I have a lot of friends. None of them will let me interview them. They're all very intelligent people. They will not do it. They said they don't know how I do it. They're not getting on TV. And I'm like, I'm not getting on TV either. Like this is like going downhill on a luge. Downhill in 1.6 seconds, but it it is for entertainment purposes only. So let's hope I'm entertaining today. Today, thank you, Lord, amen. It is Friday, and I own this bar. You gotta admit that's pretty damn good, right? Now I have something I call a stiffener. Let's see if I hold it up right. We collect these. North Carolina. They're lovely. So nice. That's nice. So when I was growing up, well, I was 9 when I was adopted. Great family. World War I, Depression, World War II, adoption. And it was always so funny. The ladies would faint. It seemed like every time ladies got together, at least one of them would faint. And they would say, go get the hooch. And they were moonshine runners. So, yeah, they called it hooch. They didn't know what the hell was up there. They always had beer. And I do mean cases of beer on ice in the trash cans, which they made sure we kids cleaned. I have no idea what happened there, but it was one of my cats. Yeah, they usually photobomb me as well. Digress there. Let's see. So in any event, you would go get this, and they had certain glasses, and they kept all that together, and you would get a little bit of that, and you would run it in because you were a kid. That's what they did. Either that or you shouldn't be in the house. So it was probably usually like right before they cooked, if I remember correctly. They would fall in chairs, they would fall on sofas, they would fall in each other's arms, but they never hit that fucking hardwood floor. Yeah, this is enough for kids. Did I mention Army veterans? Sometimes I dip into that slime pool, as they call that. I call it talking. So you would bring them this. They'd already woke them up with the ampule. Woo! Everybody in the house was like, okay, we're waiting, get rid of it. It continued to smell. So, strange shit. So they would get about maybe a finger of whiskey, vodka, whatever it was, and they would sip it. And generally, any of the other ladies that were in there, they had at least a half one because they was upset because she fainted. So they were all sipping. And about that's how they finish or what have you. And they would go, are you better now? Oh, I think so. Yeah, I need to go start cooking. I think she needs another one. They never went over 3. I have never been able to faint in my entire life. And I'm not a spring chicken, but thank you for saying so. So this is mine. This is my hooch. This is my, I can't faint for shit, so I'm going to have it anyway. And usually I have a whiskey fireball, and like the little airplane bottles. And my husband hasn't had time, as they call it, to drop into the bottle shop. And so we have a ball. So I have all kinds of things I can pick from. And I had been picking my 12-year-old scotch that my grandson bought me for Christmas, the Glenfiddich, and I'll have a little Crown Royal here and there. And so I kind of filled in my week because I'm not giving up my stiffener. This is the only time I have anything to drink. Generally, I was laid up for 10 months, which is why my channel, I had to do a different one. Major accident, surgery, lots of metal leg thing. Yeah, I couldn't move. For me, this was, oh, it was evil. So in any event, he's supposed to get me some, but he said, I'm not going to get you any if you don't drink the one I left down there for you. I said, what are you talking about? We have a refrigerator and everything at the bar. We have several refrigerators, upstairs, downstairs, the big one in the kitchen. We're old, we're lazy. And this is Old Smoky. This is Blue Moonshine. Now, I've had about a half of this, and I have ice. I like my, not ice. So I'll throw a piece of ice in there. And I poured in, half of this. So I'm going to give it a go and see how we do. I think that's all I had to tell y'all, except for here we go again. Government's still shut down. Senator Kennedy had put in a bill to take away the payment for Congress. If they allowed this to happen, then they could not get paid. He actually put a bill through, which of course they vetoed. You just gotta love them. And they've said that on TV. What are you going to do without your paycheck? Oh, no, I couldn't do that. I can't get things done if I do that. Neither can we, you fucktards. I mean, sorry, I might have been a little loud. I've been trying to keep it down here a little bit. I'm really not doing a very good job of that, probably. Hence the headphones, hence the headband. Short head, small, things fall down, off. So I got to have it blue my headband on. And I've gotten so used to it. My husband will see me walk around going, why don't you got your headband? We're old. Days pass in seconds to us now. I remember it seemed like it took 4 years to get to the 4 weeks to Christmas. Nah. I'd like that now. I mean, you get a weekend, you go, okay, I'm not going to podcast on the weekends. Well, you're still going to clean. You're going to do that. By the time you look up, it's time for dinner. By the time you get to clean it up again, it's bedtime. And I'm like, what the fuck did I do when I worked? 2 jobs, went to college, and my house was struggling. Raised a kid by myself mainly, until I remarried, which we both said we would not do and ended up doing. And it's going on 4 decades almost. So I got to say, he's a good guy. He knows when to take shit from me. I can't say whether I'm right or wrong on that one. Like I said, it's another state secret. I have a lot of those. Don't you do it. I have a cat that I named Fast Walker out of Bob Lazar when he was talking about working in Area 51, and he did, and I know he did. I knew it then. He wasn't lying. They even had proof with check stubs and things. He was working in Area 51. And the littlest one, he said, worked with 3, and some of the groups, they never knew what the other one was doing. And there was one that he called Fast Walker. He said, because it would go and stop, and stop. And so he called it anyway, Fast Walker. That stuck in my mind. And this was 40 years ago when he came out, and they managed to drill him into almost oblivion, but at least he's alive. And so this cat used to do that. He would run and stop, run and stop. Annoying, but funny as fuck. The other thing he started doing, I have ice in my drinks. I have ice in my tumbler. And he comes up and he tries to get the ice, meaning his paws are playing in your drinks. So you got to toast those up. So I have to defend my drinks now from the cat who thinks he's a raccoon. I don't know. And he photobombs me. Him, Gizmo, who looked just like the gremlin on TV, the movie. His ear tufts and that cute little face. He still does. He's very furry. And so I called him Gizmo. And they were all raised together. They were kittens that were brought to us by different people in the area that found them and knew that we had a shelter kind of thing going. And mainly outside, but there's a tent that's heated so they can go in there whenever they want, and they're fed twice a day. Meat is included; it's mixed into the kibble. So we have quite an operation here because, like I said, people bring them from everywhere. There's only a kill shelter here, and everybody knows that. And they really don't want to pick up a cat that's not even got its eyes open hardly and take it to a kill shelter because they know. So they'll come here and we will say, okay, and if it's that small, we don't put it out in the population, as I call it, because it's too small. So we tend to raise it. And then we'll put it, but we can't. We can't never get it back outside. We had one that I called Penny, and he had gotten outside, and it was actually very cold here. I was very surprised. And had been raised in the house for 6 months, and then he went outside. And I couldn't, and I saw him go by once. I said, that's Penny. I think that's Penny. And then the second time I saw him, but he wouldn't let me touch him or anything. I said, well, at least he's fine out here. I know he knows where there's food. And then Robert and I were on the porch, and it was a rainy day, and it was cold. And the other cats, we feed them on the porch when it's like that, so they're not wet and food's not wet. And he came up and he saw us and he froze, and so we backed off. And he ran over and he ate a little bit. And the female, there was females, and one of the females looked at him and he just shot off like they slapped him. I don't know what they do. But the third time we saw him, again, it was on the porch, and he came real close, and we were going inside. We had groceries and stuff, and I turned to him and I said, look, if you want to come back inside, you're going to have to walk in yourself. We are not going to run after you. We're not going to catch you. We're not going to do that. If you want to come in the house, you have to come in the house when the door's open. Now would be a good time. It's going to be colder tonight. So I opened the door and shoo. So he's back. And none of them have tried that stupidity again. So apparently he's filled them in. And we have one that's, I call him Sammy. He's never been in the house. But his brother is my fancy. He walked in on his own, just walked in the house. It's just, I have another one, but I haven't seen her lately. I think it's because she has the kittens. We had put boxes outside on the front porch. It looks terrible. It used to look so pretty. And we have a bin, a plastic bin with the hole cut out. And I wash the blankets and put blankets and stuff back in there in case they either know, or like Sammy ends up looking like he's been in a bar fight. He's all, like stitches is what it looks like. He done been, into a man's fight because of the girls. So I will do that because the girls are going to have the babies. We can't catch them to have them neutered, and they don't have a trap and release program here. Like some of the counties do, but when they find out you're from Richmond County, they won't do it. Yeah, riddle me that. I don't know. So again, we work with a lot of animals. So you'll see that too. You'll also see my poor husband going, it's how much this month? Because it's not cheap. It's not. And I thought about opening a nonprofit, but I'm not sure how to go about that. I did look into it, but we would also have to build like little houses for them. And we can't do that. The tent allows them to sleep 15 if there are that many. Sometimes we'll have just two, and sometimes we'll have 3 or 4 kittens that we can glimpse and see 2 or 3 mothers running around. But there's never that many. And I don't know where they go other than I do know some of my neighbors are adopting them from here and there. One of my neighbors, they got orders. I live next to the base. I've always been next to the base, on the base, but always at the base is where we live. We live at the first exit. It's pretty much where I've always done it. And we've lived here longer than I've ever lived anywhere in my life, including childhood, and anywhere in my life. But our son moved here. So we moved here. We downsized to move here. We got here, we had not downsized enough. But then we went and did other things. So it's been pretty cool. So let's see. We got all that in. What else did I need? Yes, I don't smoke, but I get these when I'm here. They go out while I'm talking, so my husband lets me have these. I vape. This may be why I get up here and talk to y'all. I'm sorry, I'm in one of those moods. I'm trying to be upbeat about things. I saw some shit this morning. You just, you know, like Elon Musk talking about how much graft there is, how much money it just goes into the ether at trillions of dollars a year. We can't never fix this, and if we do, the next one's going to undo everything Trump did. There's nowhere to run. There's nowhere to hide. To me, it reminds me of being a Jew before they started shooting them. They just started telling them they couldn't, shop there. They couldn't keep their shop open. They had to wear a star, and they kept going by the law. And I keep thinking, this seems so. It's not Trump. Trump's doing everything right as far as I'm concerned. If they're going to hold him and our country hostage for $1 trillion to give to some more illegal aliens, we don't want it. But they should be not. They should not have their paychecks. Those should cease and desist. And if you want my opinion, and I'm going to give it whether you do or not, most of them are guilty of treason. Sanctuary cities means sedition and treason, and there are still laws on the books for that. See, treason. What was punishment for treason? Anybody? I got a second. Yeah, that was right. Hanging. Yeah, death. Okay. Just want to make sure I got that right. I fudge when I sit in these chairs. I'm up at the bar, of course, and I just fidget. Yeah, and I'm wearing one of these. I love these gowns that reach down to my ankle. I must have 15 of them right now. And I try not to wear the same one over more than maybe a month in there. And I'll always end up with one or two that I just like the best. And those get rotated. It's like, oh, well, that color's fade. Let me get some more. And I have to get bins now just to get the clothes out that don't fit. And then I think, okay, next year they're probably going to fit because I'll have been up and running and so forth, where I couldn't for almost a year. And I'm like, so I'll keep those. And I said that since 98, because I put the I put the year on the bin. Summer clothes, 98. And I'm like, well, damn, that's not gonna fit ever. I love getting old. It seems to me that we just jump from 30 years old and we go to bed and we wake up and we're like, how old? Is that why the fuck everything hurts? My eyebrows fucking hurt when I wake up. What the hell? You're like Cat Williams, I used to love the storm chase, and I thought it was absolutely hysterical when he said, I don't know how y'all deal with these tornadoes and hurricanes and stuff. I don't have to do that stuff. He said, you go on in the house and you go to sleep and you had some drink and fun and all that. You go to sleep and you wake up and well, damn, I know I had a house when I went to sleep here. Lord, can't you tell a person? I love storm chasing. Can't do it now, too old, too broken. So I do other things. Luckily, I'd started this ahead of time, or I would have given up on that too, probably. We'll see. Oh, yes. I've said it every day since Charlie Kirk was killed, when they assassinated him live for everyone to see. I would mention him every day, pray for him and his family every day, keep that baton in the air. There's some really crazy shit going around about this. A lot of people are saying, wait, you will know that the 23-year-old they have is the shooter. Anybody else think that's right? Mm. That one has a bite. I'll have fun cleaning the rest of the day. Turn that music on. I look like Donald Trump. Oh, shit. I like Donnie. Don't get me wrong. I like Donnie. I think he's funny as fuck. I love him. He said, best person I ever saw going up and downstairs. He said, Joe, old Joe, Sleepy Joe. He'd fall almost every time he went up them steps. He fell 2 or 3 times. I don't know why nobody helped him get up there. I'm not doing a direct quote, but you get me. And then he went on to say, and the one I thought that dealt with the stairs the best I've ever seen was Obama. He was da 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 da. I know. Oh my God, that's the Super Nintendo theme. And I thought that was just so cute. He has such a dry wit. I think a lot of people, it goes over. Bill Maher said while he was there, I think Ronald Reagan was picture is the best. He said, "What do you think?" And the guy, Bill, I think was, looked up and was like, "Yeah, it's a good picture." He said, "Yeah, he's got gray hair, doesn't he?" He's just something, man. Let's see. Yeah, we went over the fact that I don't throw videos up here unless y'all ask me to, because I reckon if you want to talk about it, which is what I'm here for, then you've already seen the video, and so I don't waste a lot of time doing that. I do this live. Generally, I don't have to edit it because I'm not interviewing anybody. They're all welcome. Joe Rogan, yes, come on. AJ Hecklefish, come on, guys, give me a call. I'm always home. Retirement will do that shit to you. Call me. We'll have fun. Then I found out when I started doing this, it was just a starter kit for Christmas. My son and my husband ended up buying me one. So I had two when I started. So I had plenty for my guests and all that. Well, we were going to turn the upstairs into the studio, but my husband has a man cave on one side. But we made them into small, like apartments during the pandemic. My grandson had just gotten home from Korea and had come out of the army. So we put him in this one up here on this side. And my husband's man cave was already there. So, microwaves are free. It's like a hotel room and with a shared bath, but it's a full bath. It's really cool up there. And so that's why I said we were going to turn the other one into my studio. We were going to put the little stuff up, for sound and all that. And I could decorate and put. Well, we were redecorating, taking out carpets and putting down hardwood floors and painting and all this stuff because we had this huge bar now. He went to buy a bar. It was a small corner bar, he thought. No, we've managed to take up mainly the bottom floor besides the kitchen. I just made it all open. We redid everything. He bought new furniture and all that, mounted TVs, and we love it here. It's a real hoot. But I went upstairs to do something. I think, see, one of the kittens. We have kitty ICUs because we have to have them. Sometimes they can't see. Their eyes are matted shut and swollen, and it's just terrible. Little things. It's not a little thing though, but you know what? Google's got everything on how to look up stuff about trying to heal it and do the best you can, keep it comfortable because you can't afford to do that. Otherwise, if you can't do it yourself. And so that's been a learning experience. But I went up there for something. And when I came down, it felt like somebody shoved me in the middle of the back. And there are 15 or 16 stairs there. And they go straight to the front door. And I knew when I hit the second time, the second stair, I was breaking things. And I was only like the third step down. So I had, 10, 12 steps to go and landed. And I was already screaming for him to call 911 when I done broke a leg. And I thought, well, they can't get in because my feet were in front of the door. So I moved my feet around, But for 10 months, I was stuck. And I thought, okay, well, we're at the bar. And the only one I'd seen before that with bar, they made their own little bars, Joe Rogan and them, drink. And they've got their own whiskeys and vodkas and tequilas and, and there's a lot of them that I like. So I came back after all that mess and surgery and all that. A lot of metal. Can't go past an airport. I really can't. I mean, finally, the telegraph is starting to go. Lights are flashing and fog. 4 planes are in a holding pattern. Oh no, I said stupid, but you get here. So I have to go past every time I go get treatment. I go to the VA. I always have. Well, since I was 17 when I enlisted, and so they think I'm funny though. That's why maybe I don't like going to the VA because they think I'm so funny. They want me to volunteer to cheer people up. I'm like, you gotta be kidding. I want to sign up for somebody to cheer me up. They may not think that's funny, but fuck funny. I'm serious. I had somebody else on one of mine had commented. There were several that commented, "Hey, this was great. Where are you anyway? This has been fucking funny." And I had put up a couple. I think it was two in September when I was first able to start putting weight on the leg, and it had been a full year. And I was reading those comments. I was like, man, some people do think I'm funny. What's going on? I said, I bet it's that stiffener. Be like George Carlin. I don't give a fuck. Cat Williams. That's president. We had a president just don't give a fuck. Love Cat Williams. Hey, good. Now, see, I would love to talk to folk like that. I can't imagine getting to speak to Cat Williams, let alone interview. I'd just be sitting here. It's Cat Williams. It's Cat Williams. That is Cat Williams. If I could say that. You know, Joe Rogan, I think I could do. No, I don't mean it the wrong way. Oh, shit. Now he'll never listen to me again. Not like he has first time. So we're good. Yeah, throw those likes in there. Some hearts will do. Come on, chat's open. Where are y'all at? If y'all at work, you should be playing games anyway. None of y'all. Anybody storm chase? Anybody like ghosts? Anybody not like ghosts? Anybody know anything about the paranormal? Anybody? I keep thinking, well, I got to keep going. I'm not going to give up. I don't want a large audience. I don't want to put in merchandise, and I don't want to, do commercials throughout my entire hour. And I only take an hour. But I want Woodstock. I want social Woodstock. I want everybody, especially our age group. Yes, I mean the hippies. We hippies. I'm not talking about the baby boomers, but you're more than welcome to come in, you gorgeous people. Yeah, be talking like Trump. Al Donnie. I think he's funny. I really do. Just a couple of things come to mind, but I digress. So you see, I get this thing to light every other word. Another reason I'm asking you to put it in the comments. I have friends and family. They have not looked. They have not subscribed. They have not rung the bell. Yeah, does that bother me? Well, a little bit. But karma's a bitch. So God don't like ugly. They don't have to jump in if they don't want to. That's fine with me. I had several thousand, and I'm still getting friend requests, and I'm on Facebook, and I had kind of left Facebook, especially during my injury. I just couldn't. I couldn't do anything. Friends would send me books, and I've always been. I have a huge library of my own. My son sent me like 4,000 of those puzzles that you do, and it helped because you had to rest. Because the best thing I could do was sit upright with the pillows under the leg and the leg up, and not move. Unless one absolutely had to move. And thank God our ensuite bath is just about 9 or 10 steps from the way everything was positioned for me to get in, because they knew. The first time I got on the crutches, I was catch me, catch me. Actually, the last time I got on the crutches, I was catch me, catch me. Ladies, gentlemen, I will advise you that when you pass the age of 50, if you have a pair of crutches at home, just get on them for a second and see what happens. No problem, no problem. I've done this before. Nope. I was stunned as hell. I was like, what the? my leg would not support my body. And that freaked me out no end. So then I was trying not to, and the first you couldn't do the other leg. Then the other one I'm trying to make it stronger. Yeah, nope. My son bought me one of those scooters, so you put your knee on it and you just go. There's no brakes. No. Couldn't do it. And finally, I had was released by the surgeons, but it took 6 or 7 months. It took me a month to get in because the hurricane Helene hit us. The day I was to have surgery at the VA, knocked everything in the city out. They sent me to Augusta University because theirs was open, but it was 2 weeks later. And the surgeon took a look at me and then looked at the thing and he looked back and he said, "This has been a month." I said, "Uh-huh." He said, "Okay, we're doing you in the morning. Be here at 4:30." You can do that, can't you? I said, "Yeah, yeah, I'm good with that." I was so grateful to them, and they had such a great team. So, anybody ever decide that they've got some bad surgeons or what have you, you do not like where you are, go to the University of Augusta. If you're anywhere in the Augusta area, go there. They're great. They really are. I had a team of like 10 constantly. And that was, they didn't say go home and we'll see you in a year. So that was, every few weeks I was back being x-rayed, looked at, talked at by surgeons. They couldn't even take your stitches out for, I think mine was 10 weeks, but I had surgery for 15 hours and they told my husband it would only be about 4 or 5 hours. And so he was starting to panic. It was like 15 hours. And I never do things simply. I go with the bang. So that was my life. So when I got back on the air, I thought, wait a minute. Just I got on the air that day. I said I wouldn't be back, and then I started looking, and I started seeing all these podcasters, people, and I like Megan Kelly. Hey, Megan, been watching her for decades. No offense, I know your age. I'm not saying it. I know yours is a government secret too, but I've just known them forever. Joe Rogan, I watched him on news radio. Hey, Joe. So I've known him decades, and it's been so cool to have this medium, but it was frightening to me at the very first again to come back because suddenly there were so many podcasters, and I mean tons of them. Most about half had bars, and I thought that was really a cool thing because I didn't think there was just a couple. And suddenly everybody's podcasting, which is great. It's really cool. A lot of them can't get. They're like me. They don't really have guests to talk to. So they're pulling videos and they're saying, "Did you see that?" And so and so said this. Well, I don't do that. If you've seen the video, we'll talk. Live streams on, comments in there. Do your best. I love talking about everything. That's what I think in my intro, it's got social Woodstock, talk about anything, everything, lots of laughs, lots of fun. I love everything as far as history. I have even gotten lately into politics. I don't know. Well, mostly I do know why, because I've worked in and out of the government maelstrom. In our day, it was a clusterfuck. Every eighth to ninth week, you were having to go off and learn new systems. For God's sakes, Apple didn't settle down until 2008 when Steve came out with the iPhone. After that, it mellowed out. Everything was digital. Yeah, they got all the analogs off. TVs didn't work. Had to get rid of them. I had like 12. Nobody wanted them. So now here we are. And to me, it's like, here's George Jensen. I know I can't sing the song right, but it's still fucking funny. All you hippies out there know what I'm talking about. Saturday morning came, you were up earlier than when you went to school every day. The cartoons were out. You were sitting there with a box of cornflakes, black and white, watching Elmer trying to kill the rabbit. They may have a point that hippies are not inside this. I'm not sure. I know we've had to keep a sense of humor. The first time that somebody went ape shit, started killing people, was in a post office. So my generation remembers it as starting kind of there, and taking and hijacking planes, which was the PLO, which is what the college kids are saying. Palestine, go. Palestine, yeah. Where were they in the 70s when they were shooting everybody in the Rome airport? But I digress. Life was simpler. Not that I don't know what I'd do without this tech. My husband, Uh, we weren't married at the time. We were just seeing each other and had been for about almost a year, I think. And he was like, "You've got to have a phone." He carried a phone and a pager. That was back before the phones, and phones were expensive back then. Oh my! You had a 2-year contract, then you could afford the phone. So he had Sprint, and he added me on. And I didn't think too much of it. Finally, after about 3 years, I said, "Don't you think we should turn off the landline? No fucking body calls that bitch anymore. Nobody." We were still paying a $50 a month bill, but it wasn't being used at all. No outgoing, no incoming. You got a bill anyway, $50 a month. I was like, this is stupid. You know they're fucking with you anyway. And when they know you haven't even used the service, they can take it down to like 10, 15, be like George Carlin or some shit, like be real. But they don't. No, they make more money the other way. There's a lot of reasons for things. The reason you drive a car and they got rid of streetcars and trains, they made more money. You have to have money to drive a car, but notwithstanding oil and gas, you've got to have a license. You got to register the vehicle. You got to buy tags for the vehicle. You got to buy insurance for you and the vehicle and anybody else that it might talk to. But let us say they can't have a paycheck in the Senate or the House if this kind of stupidity goes, oh, no, they voted that bitch down in 6 seconds. I don't even think it really took them that long. They just as one said, Republicans, Democrat, didn't matter which. They were, no, you ain't get my money. I don't know why. Most of them made plenty by now on the stock market. If they've been there 6 months, they're millionaires. I could name names. That's easy. Pelosi refuses to die. Schumer refuses to die. I didn't think Dianne Feinstein would ever cross that bridge. They brought her in on a hospital gurney, and this was filmed. And she said, "What am I voting for?" They said, "Oh, don't worry about that. Just vote no." And they brought this woman in a hospital bed. Pelosi has come in after a broken hip. What makes these fucking octogenarians come to fuck work and do stupid shit when they've got $200 million or $30 million? God knows I'd love to see $100,000 in my account. Now, I mean, I'm not that greedy, because that would be like, well, we're good for the rest of our life, because we're on a fixed income of like 20,000 a year or some shit. And these fucks have millions and they're still coming in and they're still fucking with the little people. I dare and I defy Ma'am Donnie to come to Georgia. Please bring down here. Come down here. Hey, you'll meet some redneck bitches, I'm telling you. I feel for New York in a lot of ways. In most ways, I don't. The smash and grab shit, that's you guys wanted these people here. You still voting that way? I saw 3 or 4 states had governorships up. They still voted Democratic. I don't get the damn difference, except that one of them closed the border. The other one was weekend at Bernie's for 4 fucking years, which we knew before the vote. Now, I don't know. I don't vote because they've got the Electoral College in. And I love what Donnie said. I won the Electoral College vote. And I also won the people's vote. Now, nobody vote. No, nobody noticed that's two voting in anybody? I got time. Yeah. You noticed that, did you? So what happens if you vote the different way than what the Electoral College is? I don't fucking know. Tell me. Put it in the comments. I have no idea. How can Chuck Schumer from one state, he's a senator from one fucking state, he's got one fucking job. So do the rest of the bitches in the seats from other states. One fucking job. So why is it up to one asswipe to tell you, fucktards, to vote for your people or get the absolute fuck out? You're fucking fired. That's kind of my rant for today. I practiced that one. It might go viral just for that one. Or they'll take it off the air. It's hard to say. It's going out again. And this is why my husband buys me moonshine. I give him credit. He didn't seem to have. Oh my, that's okay. They ate that up. He's never seems to be a problem. He knows ever since we met, I would never wear one thing twice in a week. Never. I might mix and match it, skirts and shirts and stuff like that. I might do that, but it would never be the exact same in a week. I used to watch people come in there and work in house shoes, and had one that used to come in thongs. I almost fired her. Ended up kicking her ass. Now that's the story. I should write more. Don't get in my fucking face and do shit when I tell you 3 times. I gave you 3 chances. You do that again, I'm going to fuck up your world. If you do that again, and finally, again, if you do that again, the 4th time, you're toast. I'm smashing your face into the floor somewhere, concrete, I don't care. I warned you. And she still worked for me. I had hired her, I was the boss. We had taken her out to meet a friend of my husband's at workplace. And she had been all excited. She dressed, I call myself Lady Hippy at the bar. She dressed the hippie. The whole hippie thing was still going on. Okay. Didn't shave her legs. I had to get her several times, at least wash her fucking hair, put it in a ponytail, do something with that shit. Do not wear fucking thongs to work. That kind of thing. Yeah. You don't want to fire them. Everybody's got to have their jobs. And she was my receptionist. So it was like, oh, fuck. She dealt with all the doctors and saying, okay, she's okay, to tell me so-and-so doctor was there to see these reports, what have you. And that's what I was doing at the time. I was at the University of Texas Health Science Center. And so, yes, I've run whole divisions my whole life, basically. I'm not one of those people. I'm lead, you get the fuck out of my way is kind of the way it is with me. I'll be honest about it. That one has a real bite for a bit, which is again why we're at the bar. I finished that one, and that's as far as I'm going with that. Every once in a while, I love it. And Bill Maher will pull out a pre-rolled. I love those. Yes, you can order. It's legal. I use mine for sleep and pain, but yeah, we're cheating from time to time. But in Georgia, they will only give you medium. They won't let you have the good stuff, but the medium's not bad. And it's approved by my VA. They know I get that. And like my doctor doesn't even want to see me till next year because I lived in the doctor's office in a bedroom for a year. So I was real tired of that shit. And then when I saw her, I was it's like, are you going to be doing this again in a little while? Because I'm not happy with that. No, you can wait unless you need me. I love my VA. I really do. It's gotten better and better. It's really gotten better and better. I'm busting because I don't know if you can see, but I have a belt with this, and it tends to turn around. And this is one of the dresses that I got that I do a review on for the company. And I just got another email, and I was wondering, I'm hoping to procure a place where I actually, make money, and because these things are just sent to me. I don't order them, and I don't know what they're sending. But I've been a guest, I've been one of their customers for probably 4 or 5 years. So is my husband, and we like them. I mean, it's China. It comes from China. Like, what you gonna do? If they make it like that in America, we would go for it. We got little income. So, and I would order, and he would too. We ordered near the holiday, near Christmas and stuff. And in the spring, when I needed a new wardrobe. Well, never left the bed, had to have 2 new wardrobes in a year. Did not leave the bed. I graduated from, I still do those 50s vintage skirts. I do those because they're quite long. And I do the ones that are floor length, and then I hem them just a bit. Should see me when I said I did. I did do a Halloween thing. Look it up. It's funny because I got the hat on already. I went as Queen Victoria night. just at the dress. It was beautiful. Everybody loved that. It's one of my favorites. I've had it, I think, 5 or 6 years, and thank the gods, you cannot tell that. It comes out pristine and beautiful every time. Same with the hat, with the fall and the roses, the ostrich feathers. It comes out perfect every time. I went in 2020 as a flapper girl. And my daughter-in-law, we both dressed as flapper girls because of 1920. So we had a bitch of a nightmare. My granddaughter was just giving us candy. So, here, shut up. People can hear you. Eat this. Now she's going on 14. Means that she's going on 34. And she hasn't sped up yet, but she will at 34. When she gets to 34, when she takes a nap, she will wake up and be 49. It just jumps like that. It's like, I lost an entire decade when I took a nap. And I did. So quit taking naps. Mm. Like I said, love storm chasing. I love anything paranormal. I love history. One of the greatest is Victor Davis Hanson in his own words. That's his new podcast. It used to be, oh no, he still got the other one too. Victor David Hanson. It's The Blade of Perseus, and I just adore him. And he's, I think, 72 is what he said. I so wish he was 50 because that man is just, it's like having all of the encyclopedias in the world in one dude. He's amazing. He remembers everything. He doesn't have notes, and he's not looking at a phone, read a phone. He's just there, and he is that good. I adore the guy. I think he's great. And Sammy Wicks, she is one of the ones. Jack is the other. Those are the two that do the questions with him. And then, of course, he used to broadcast just for the Daily Signal for just 8 or 10 minutes. And I think he's still doing that too. But I don't know how he does it. He's written 25 books, which I'm starting to get. And he's an amazing guy. I mean, go check him. I know everybody has seen Joe Rogan, Shay, Bill Maher. I know y'all have seen all them. Excuse me. Mention my name. The reason it says wicked is because we were the first women to be regular Army. When I got on the plane, I was going to the WAC Corps, the Women's Auxiliary Corps for the Army. And when I landed, I was at Fort Jackson, South Carolina. And I was like, this is kind of fucked up. And they came out to tell us that we had been given the position and the chance to be the first women to train as regular Army. And if we didn't want to try, we were welcome to go home. But the WAC Corps was disbanded, so we couldn't go back to that. Not a one of us left. We all stayed. And it turns out that if you have rank, it does not help you. It makes you get the shit that runs uphill. So when somebody fucked up, I got this shit. So I had gone to college, ROTC, all of this. So I had some chevrons. When you usually go in the military, you don't even have one. You're just a buck, what they call a buck private. You have no rank. You've got to earn even the one rank, which makes you private. So it's like that. And now we have, I'll put it this way, now we've got women fighter pilots. So I'm going to let y'all assume that we kicked ass. We didn't bother with the fucking names. And yeah, we graduated with the men. And we could do anything the men could do. And proved out some of it, we did it better. Not bragging, just stating facts. Then I heard from my grandson, and I was appalled at what they were calling uniforms. I still am. We couldn't even use camo unless we were on base. You couldn't go off base in camo. You had to go off in Class A, which was the suit and all that. I love the Marines. I love theirs. Actually, I dated a few of them. I should write that book. In any event, yeah, those things have all changed, and I was shocked. But time goes on, and they know what they're doing, you know. I'm just glad that we kicked the door down. We managed to prove that we could do it. And I found out later when I worked in DC, Top Rank and the agriculture building at the time was building the food stamp program. Worked with my ex mother in law. She was something, and we remained friends until she crossed over. We were good to go. And yeah, so we were like, oh, I used to run to the Watergate Hotel. And I get that 2 or 3 martinis and a Valium lunch, and the senators were real funny. One in particular was very dear to me. And he would always sit with us and he would always whisper over to me, "You got to quit doing it. They're going to shoot you." So finally I thought, well, maybe I should leave DC with the kid because I couldn't get shot. But it was great when I was there. Well, I used to make jokes about the White House. You know, it's the gray house. It's now white. When did they last paint that anyway? 1882. So now they don't even have the Watergate. It's not there anymore. And so those memories are all I get to hang on to. Most of the senators, of course, that I knew have already crossed over. But it was a great experience. And I saw myself back in the 80s, and I kept saying, you know, the terrorists are going to come in here, kick your ass, and it's going to take about 2 hours. They did. They sure did. 9/11. Now, the other thing I don't get about 9/11, and I try not to be a conspiracy nut, so forgive me, but why did they go and invade Iraq about 9/11? Because that was Saudi Arabians who were on those planes and took them. It was the Saudi Arabia. There was not one Iraqi on there. What the fuck was that all about? Just riddle me that, Batman. Who goes into museums in full gear, including Mike's, and takes out whatever? What's all that about? The first George Bush, when he was CIA director of the CIA, and he was, of course, George Bush Sr., he put Saddam Hussein in power. He did. And then George Bush Jr. had to go in and hunt him down. Anybody see anything between that? I got a little tight. No? Yeah, I didn't either. Couldn't figure that shit out. I just couldn't figure it out. And then we had Afghanistan, which looked like the fall of fucking Saigon. There were kids hanging under the plane, knowing, and the poor pilots knowing like you can't stop. You know they're gonna die. You can't stop. I think some of them tried to slow down and put their own people in danger by trying to let them jump down. Maybe they'd live. It was horrifying, absolutely horrifying. And the legacy of old Sleepy Joe, if you want to call him that, weekend at Bernie's for 4 years. People need to be charged with some of the shit that went on there. This is treason. You got sanctuary cities. That's sedition. That's fucking Fort Sumter firing the first cannon. It's fucking treason, in your face fucking treason, on steroids, in your face fucking treason. We could teach the fucking Russians treason, okay? Yeah, without batting an eyelid. And this is against us. It's against we the people. We the people don't count. If Congress votes against letting their pay go because they're letting everybody else's pay go, what the fuck kind of country has this become? And I served it most of my adult life. Now I'm retired going, is this really? What? I got something else to let y'all know since I ain't got much time here, besides what little bit they decide to give you for your Social Security check, because that's not your choice. You don't even know what the bottom line is that you put in. I have a kind of an idea, kept everything. But they don't go by that. So they go by whatever it is, that criteria that is. And that's what you'll be allowed per month of the monies they took from you for 50 years or less. That's how that goes. It's always fun. And your Medicaid and your Medicare, you know, that you pay it every week or every month, so that when you're retired, you can get medical attention. You know what they are? Nothing. Not a fucking thing. unless you go into an insurance company like Humana, what have you. My husband uses Humana. So you got to pay for insurance in order to use your motherfucking Medicaid and Medicare that, again, you fucking paid 60 years for. What the fuck? And why the fuck, and yeah, I'm using that term loosely, hasn't anybody had a problem with this? Why does Congress get to do something different on their retirement that the fucking people who put them there don't get? Why? Why do they have another medical system other than what the people who put them the fuck there have to use? Why the fuck isn't anybody asking that? Oh, geez, I know they'll take you off the air. Well, then I'll find X, thank God. He wanted to make sure that free speech was not shut down. So far, I stay with YouTube. I haven't gone on any other, not Instagram, not any of those. I've stayed with a podcast that you can live chat, you can comment, you can come on and talk, yell. I wouldn't yell out at me. I have bullets for a fucking reason. But in the meantime, if somebody out there chances to see me, if you enjoyed the show, I thank you very much. For those family and friends who have not yet listened to me tell you to subscribe, like, share, I will hunt you down one at a time. I'm old, I have a lot of time. You may not have. If I have 2,000 friends on Facebook, where the fucking hell is everybody? And what the fuck do I got to do to get them over here to say hi personally and thank you personally? I would love to say thanks for everybody's well wishes and prayers during the near year that I was out. I mean, they're so wonderful. They're just gone. When I look them up on Facebook, I can kind of find them, but it doesn't seem to be very helpful as to talking to them or nothing. So, again, I'm back on the air. If you see me, hit the comments. If I'm not on live at the time you get it, you can't do the live chat. But I will get back to you if you get into the comments. I try to give it's very rough. It's hard to look at a 70-inch TV that you're on. And you're going, oh, fuck. This is why I drink. So, just so you know. My husband and my kid, they're all, and my grandkids, they're all pretty good with this. They won't get on the air. See what I'm saying? I must have lit this 100 times. I've gotten 2 hits off of it. I do better with my pre-rolls. Joe Rogan, Bill Maher. Don't y'all want to talk to just a regular fucking broad, just some regular hippie? Any of you got the balls to do that? I mean, we could set it up. What is it? Zoom calls. Come on, guys. If you won't come and talk to me, do it that way. Say, hey, you're a crazy bitch. Come talk to us. I would say that would make my whole life worth misery and living for. But I see, I only allow myself an hour, so I'm about to go. I didn't see too many things in live chat. A few hearts. I don't know if that means there are some watching that just don't want to chat. It could be somebody dipping in on their lunch break. It's hard to say. I usually go on from 12 to 2. I had to extend that from 10 to 2 because I never know when the hell I'm going to get up here. Somewhere by 2. Because by then it's eating into my evening. So I have chores just like everybody else. If there are any questions, and there's got to be questions about everything. Everything. Have you ever seen a ghost or a demon or any of those things? Talk to me, because I have. I would love to share some stories. I would love to see some stories come back out of this while it's still social Woodstock, before they take it away from us. Before the thought police, like they have in Britain, come and put us in jail for a Facebook page. And she took it off. She still did 32 months. Mother of 5. That's the thought police. Read George Orwell again if you have to. You really shouldn't have to. And don't give the host moonshine because it's just, hey, Piers Morgan. I just wanted to say hey before I left. You guys come see me. Zoom. Send me it. I get there. But I guess I bet we won't get there today. All right, guys. Have a good one. See you next week.